Hi, today's objective is to set the scene for a story, continue and end a story. Our essential questions: how do you set the scene for a story in Spanish, and how do you continue and end a story in Spanish? Your standards are located to the left. Your homework: you were supposed to complete a Hail Cultura worksheet the other day. Make sure that that is completed in the box. And also, you have workbook pages 97 to 99. Your Chapter 9 skills. We have already analyzed a little bit of information from El Conocedor, but now we are going to analyze some legends and folk tales. Write a legend or folk tale using the preterite and imperfect. Contrast the uses of the preterite and the imperfect. Use the preterite and the imperfect in paragraph level presentations. Use the subjunctive mood to convey opinions regarding historical events and politics. Explain a historical event and describe how events would have changed given a certain set of circumstances using sequence of tenses in Spanish. And compare and contrast the geography, history, and art of El Conocedor. At this time, you can pause the video and go take out all of your first semester work. Bell Work 9.1 says to complete the sentences with the correct form of the verbs in parentheses. Last semester we worked on sequence of tenses, so if you look at number 1 in the first part of the clause, it says quería. That is an imperfect verb, so you know that your second verb has to be imperfect subjunctive, leyera. Remember, you take the aos form of layer and the preterite, drop ron, and add ra, ras, ra, ramos, raíz, and run. Mi hermano prefería que nosotros ver. Ver would be viéramos. Vieron, viéramos. Mis papás esperaban que tú llegaras. Llegaron, llegarás. Tú dudabas que yo entendiera. From entendieron to entendiera. Era importante que yo acabara. The Spanish for folk tale for Chapter 9. And for this project, you are going to research Spanish folk tales and legends, and based on this legend, write a script with a modern-day twist on this legend. So what would happen if Little Red Riding Hood went to her grandma's house today? Well, be sure to use vocabulary from Chapter 9 to move the story along. The story should be told using the preterite and the imperfect. Please have your story checked by me. I suggest the always popular Google Docs. And from here, you need to make two choices. You can either make a large picture storybook like they do over in Teacher Cadet with illustrations and your story, or using a digital media format of your choice, make an interactive storybook with pictures and your story. And if you have some other idea, please let me know. It's quite possible that I'll approve it for you. In Step 6, you'll create puppets for the characters in your story. And for Step 7, you also have several choices. You can present your story in class with a puppet show. You can create a video in which you have the puppets act out the story, or if you have some other idea, please let me know and I may approve it for you. Finally, submitted in writing, I need a full finalized printed out transcript of your folk tale or legend, pictures of your puppets or the puppets themselves if you don't want them anymore, and the big book or web link to the interactive media. The rubric for this is very specific. I will go through it step by step because you guys are missing pieces. Vocabulary includes a variety of vocabulary that expands the topic, but there may be minor inaccuracies. Grammar makes few errors using on-level grammatical structures. If your characters speak all in present tense, that's not on-level grammatical structure. Uses higher-level grammatical structures that are mostly correct. Creativity folktale is very creative and is interesting take on a older story. Fluency, mostly fluent intonation, fluency, and pronunciation contribute to the message. Puppets are well made and creative. They are very well planned and serve their purpose well. And book is very creative, neat, well put together. Nothing hanging out of the book or falling off of it. A 5-year-old could play with it and not destroy it. Okay. This is page 368 in your textbook, Leyendas. The civilizations of the present and the past have their and to tell their histories or to explain some phenomenon. In Latin America, there are traditions of indigenous cultures, African cultures, and European cultures. Here in Chile, there are traditions and legends of the Mapuches, also known as the Araucanos, and of the European culture, on all of them being from Spain. The Aztecs in Mexico, the Incas in the Andes, and the Mapuches in Chile have. And in these civilizations, they built dedicated to their gods or goddesses. Even though these civilizations their constructions and myths still exist. So we have legends, myths, gods, goddesses, temples, even though have disappeared. They come from Europe, and in them, the people often, in general, these stories occur in places. Many times there is a person who is, or we have fairy tales, fall in love, enchanted, unknown, mysterious, ghost. In many legends, the lives in that shares with his wife, and his children, and king, palace, queen, prince, princess. Of the myths can be very varied, just like their people. In many myths, is a that is an advisor to everyone else, or with facts, a wise man, sorcerer, magical powers. Cultural note. Before the arrival of the Europeans in Argentina, two principal indigenous groups existed. In the northeastern part, near Bolivia and the Andes, there lived the Diaguitas, and to the southeast lived the Guaranes. The two groups developed a cultivation of corn, and they are remembered because they had success in avoiding the expansion of the Inca Empire and the rest of Argentina. Page 370, textbook, The Prince and the Queen. Complete the paragraph with the words from the box. Prince, unknown, villain, disappeared, fell in love, palace, powers, punishment, even though, and nevertheless. Many years ago, there lived a queen in an enormous palace. She told her children that she didn't want anybody to enter, but the prince disobeyed his mother and invited a man who was unknown to the palace. He allowed him to enter because this man, who nobody had ever seen, told him that he would use his magical powers so that he could have the prettiest woman in the world and fall in love with her, or have her fall in love with him. But really, he was a villain that wanted power of the palace. He entered, and soon he disappeared. The prince did not know where he was. Nevertheless, like a queen that was very intelligent, she realized what was happening and trapped the villain. Even though she didn't want to throw out her son, the villain gave her a hard punishment, or she gave the villain a hard punishment. According to what is said, he changed him into a serpent. My fairy tales. Complete the sentences to create your own fairy tale. Once upon a time in a faraway place, what happened? Alright, so you are going to take all of these sentences and you are going to make sentences for your fairy tale. Activity 4, Legends in Argentina. Alright, according to a Chilean legend, the Mapuches were created because their ancestors lived in the sky. Each star was one of their grandparents. They lived protected by the gods, the sun and the moon. They were called father and mother. In an Argentinian myth, it is said that there was a time when the leaves in the trees were always green, but Kamschaut found a magical forest where the leaves changed colors in the fall. As nobody grew this story, It was changed into a parrot. Oh, so as the story was told, he was changed into a parrot and he returned to Earth to dye his feathers. Ever since then, the leaves change color every fall. The Secnam of the Tierra del Fuego is divided into various groups. The son of the chief of one group fell in love with a daughter with black eyes, but the father was the enemy of the chief. According to what is said, a sorcerer discovered them and punished them by converting the young girl into a dangerous plant that the young boy couldn't touch. So, who were the gods of the Mapuches? Their ancestors. Where did the Kamshut myth come from? From Argentina. Why was the magical forest discovered in Kamshut? Because the leaves change color in the fall. Who fell in love with the Selknam young person? A girl with black eyes, the daughter of a enemy chief. What was the punishment of the young lovers? The girl was changed into a dangerous plant that the boy could not touch. And who punished the boy? A sorcerer. Page 372 textbook. The woman with magical powers. Don Pablo. Do you want to hear the legend of my town? Yes. Alright. It is said that this legend is based in real facts. It shouldn't scare you. Tell us. Well, a long time ago in my town, there lived a woman with a lot of mysterious powers to cure people. According to what they said, she was a woman that seemed like a goddess. She didn't lie to them. It was more like a fairy tale. Well, a lot of years went by, and this woman was well known around my town. As soon as she arrived, everyone started to speak badly of her. Some said that she was a sorceress and that she would surely punish them with her powers. As a fact, she was really wise and she was able to cure sicknesses. So it is said that one time she saved a child from death, but the stories of the people that gossiped, the woman got offended and she left. From then on, many people of the town started to get sick. Because of this, many of them got scared and abandoned the town. Finally, the people in the town realized the importance of treating people well, and because if they didn't, they would receive a punishment. And that, little boys and girls, is the legend of my people. Based on the legend of Don Pablo, put the facts in the correct order. 1 is C. The unknown woman arrived in the town. 2. E. The people started to talk badly about the woman. 3. A. The woman saved a boy from death. 4. F. The woman left the town. 5. B. The people started to get sick. 6. D. Everyone realized the importance of treating people well. And that's all. Vocabulario 1. This is the next page in your work packet. Complete each sentence with the vocabulary word from the box. The king and the queen lived in a fancy palace. The legends came from reality and from fiction. Young children are afraid of listening to the story of a ghost. Nobody knows where the mysterious man came from. The lovers got punished Los Amos. That's not lovers. I don't know what it is, but it's not lovers. The somethings punished their slaves. It is a person with a lot of knowledge. It's a wise person. It is a supreme being that has distinct characteristics according to religion, is a god. In this building, you celebrate religious rites. It's a temple. This person is unfaithful and to a cause or a principle is a traitor. There are magical abilities that sorcerers have. Those are powers. You're writing a Latin American exchange student about a legend in your country. Write how you would express the following in Spanish. Many years ago is hace muchos años. From what we've been told, the villain would be, según nos dicen, el malvado. It is told that all of a sudden, se cuenta de pronto, In the end, we realized, al final nos dimos cuenta de, and from now on they lived happily ever after. A partir de entonces vivieron siempre felices. Starting with the phrases you wrote back here in Activity C, you are going to build a complete short story. You can draw on the words from the following box to round your story out. Okay. Your closure today is to take this quiz, the Edmodo quiz link, until you make 100. You need to show it to me or take a screenshot, either one, and post it to Edmodo. So, Experiencete 3, Chapter 9.1. You must make 100 on it, and you must show it to me. You can't just say, I took the quiz and I made 100. And finally, your homework is to complete the Hail Cultura worksheet and workbook pages 97 to 99.